Look, we all have unique experiences and ideas that are absolutely worth sharing. But how do you get an idea that's so clear in your head to be just as clear and, compelling for someone else? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, so let's jump right in by looking at the big problem. Why do so many presentations or talks or even just simple explanations, why do they fall flat? It turns out there's a really common trap that is surprisingly easy to fall into.
You know that feeling, right? You're sitting there, you're listening to someone who's obviously brilliant and passionate, but their ideas are kind of all over the place. You're trying so hard to connect the dots, but you just can't, and you walk away feeling more confused than when you started. And here's the thing. The number one reason for that feeling, for that confusion, it's not a lack of good information, it's the lack of a unifying plan. See, a lot of speakers plan what to say point by point by point, but they totally miss the bigger picture. That one single thread that's supposed to tie everything together.
But here's the good news. There is a simple, really elegant solution to this whole problem, and it's a concept that the world's best communicators and storytellers use all the time. It is called the through line. So what is it exactly? Well, a through line is the central connecting idea of your talk. Think of it like a backbone. It's the single core message that every story you tell, every fact you share, and every example you use is there to support and build on. I love this metaphor. If your talk is a journey you're taking your audience on, the through line isn't the destination, it's the actual path. It's the clear, well-marked trail you all follow together, so no one gets lost along the way.
Okay, theory is great, but the best way to really get the power of a through line is to see the difference it makes in the real world. So let's look at how it can transform a simple idea from just a vague collection of thoughts into a focused, really compelling message.
All right, check out this direct comparison. Without a through line, a speaker might say something like, I want to share some experiences from my trip to Cape Town and some observations about life on the road. Okay, it's a topic, but it's pretty vague, right? Now listen to this. With a through line, on my trip to Cape Town, I learned something new about strangers, when to trust them and when you can't. Let me share 2 different experiences. Whoa, see the difference? The second version isn't just a topic, it's an idea. It makes a promise, it gives you a specific insight, and it makes you lean in and want to hear the story. That's the power of a through line.
And this isn't just a hypothetical. Look at these through lines from some of the most popular talks ever given. Notice how every single one is a complete provocative idea. It's not just a talk about choice. It's more choice actually makes us less happy. They present a specific, intriguing argument that you immediately want to understand.
Okay, so let's say you've got a great through line. You're not done yet. There's another huge trap to avoid. The temptation to include everything you know on the subject. This is where the real discipline comes in, the discipline of what to leave out. And it all comes down to this really simple but powerful equation. Overstuffed equals underexplained. If you try to cram too many points into your talk, you'll inevitably underexplain all of them. You end up rushing, you skip the crucial details, and nothing really lands with any force. So to make an idea truly stick with someone, you have to take the time to do 2 things. First, you've got to show your audience why they should even care. What's the problem? What's the question you're exploring? And second, you have to build that idea up in their minds using concrete examples, maybe personal stories, and some solid facts. All right, so we know what a through line is and why it's so important. Now for the fun part. How do you actually make one for your own ideas? Let's get into the practical tools you can start using right away. Here is a fantastic challenge to start with. Try to state your core idea in 15 words or less. Seriously, this constraint is incredibly powerful because it forces you to cut through all the noise and find the absolute essence of what you're trying to say. What's the one precise idea you want to build inside your listener's mind? And as you're working on that 15-word sentence, run it through this checklist. Ask yourself, honestly, does my idea spark curiosity? Is it a genuine gift to the audience? Something valuable I'm giving them? And so important, can I really do this idea justice in the time I actually have? And here's a brilliant tip from speaking coach Abigail Tenenbaum. Just test it out on a real person. Try to talk through your idea. You will immediately hear and feel which parts are sharp and clear and which parts are just kind of muddy and need to be cut so that your main message can land with real power. So let's bring all this home. The goal of creating a through line isn't about limiting your idea, not at all. It's about focusing its power. It's about making your message resonate more deeply with people, not less. Ultimately, it all comes down to this timeless principle, right? Less can be more. Choosing a through line forces you to be disciplined. You might end up making fewer points than you originally wanted to, but I promise you, the points you do make will have a so much greater impact. One strong idea, fully explored, is always better than a dozen shallow ones. So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. The next time you have something important to share, a project at work, a story you want to tell your friends, any idea at all, just take a moment and ask yourself, what's my 15-word through line? Because nailing that down, that's the secret to making sure your idea is truly heard.